All right. Uh, I'm looking here. You know, you know what trips me out? Is 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 when people equate the number of followers that someone has with their actual career as an entertainer. That's it always
Are we talking about Sam Tripoli again?
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How'd you know
Just
that?
because I commented on that thing yesterday.
Yeah, okay, so we might be commenting on the same thing. So like I already have this person saying shit like, oh yeah, it says somebody with first of all, did you earn that blue check mark and you don't have as many followers as Sam, so you're just struggling in your career. And I'm like, you do know I was doing shit before social media, and social media is not the barometer of what
Right. Yeah,
it's
but they're idiots who follow Sam Tripoli and they think that she that same person is it the same person she but we can talk about but the same person who said um I don't trust the media but I do trust I'll believe anything Sam says because he's got followers on social media or something and I was like what
yeah,
the fuck did you just say?
it's bananas. So we'll go live here in a second.
I think we are live, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it. Oh, so can I?
I'm saying are we my stupid computers I had to restart it again and it's
Yeah,
freezing again.
we are live.
Okay. I'm gonna say at everyone and
Let me find it
bip,
first, please,
bip.
before we go on.
No problem. Hey, everybody that's already in the room, we appreciate you. And yeah. So I do that is what I want to talk about a little bit more too, is where we are as a we'll get into it. We'll get into it. But yeah, I do want to cover that because that's the second or third time where that's happened where someone tries to connect these worlds and it's not even the same thing. So um we'll see. Let's do this. Let me know when you're ready and we will go.
1 second. Not
And
letting me share into different places today for once.
it is.
Yeah, it's letting me share my story and wasn't doing that for a while. All right, I'm good to go.
All right, here we go. For some reason, man. All right, here we go. Got it. Pull this up. Let's
Oh,
pull
it's
this
army. People are
here.
already commenting that I don't know what they're talking about. Let's
Oh,
rock.
screen share. Bob. Bip. Bip. You hear it? Hi, Barnett.
Ian Harris.
The revolution is not afraid of pronouns.
The revolution is not afraid of real history.
The revolution is not brought to you by election deniers.
Hey man, some people are simply trash.
The revolution will not be brought to you by gerrymandered districts.
90% of our country doesn't have critical thinking skills. 50% of our country doesn't have empathy.
Ian Harris is good as fuck with numbers.
I refuse to stand for any flag or anthem that does not stand for me.
The revolution will not be brought to you by the letter Q or any other dumbass conspiracies.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new and we gonna be kind of not all over the place because of course we got stuff to cover episode, but we're gonna do a little bit of a different twist on some things. Episode of Critical Thinking Podcast. Hi, Barnett.
Ian Harris. And if he shows up here, we've got puppy dog Calvin, but he's just not letting me type, but he's not showing his face.
Oh, hey, someone say what's up. Yo, I ain't
Calvin,
seen Calvin in
say
a
hi.
minute.
Who's here?
Up. Nice.
Who's here, buddy? Oh well.
Welcome everybody who is already in the room. Hey, Mo. Mo hasn't watched the show ever, but welcome, Mo. We should have Mo on the show. No, Mo has been on the show. Mo was on
is Mo in the comments?
Mo Alexander. Remember when we were doing the show?
Yeah. No, I remember having Mo on. I'm saying, is he in the comments? I don't see him.
Yeah, it says on my end, it says Mo is watching.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool.
So what's up to everybody that's tuning in
Mo
right
Alexander.
now? What up, Krista? How you doing? Krista's been watching the show for a while, so I want to thank everybody that's already with us. Tammy, Robert, what's going on? JE, as usual. I want to look at what he said about Haba. I want to look and see if it was official that he fired her. So we're gonna get into a few things this episode. So let's just start off. Let's let's start off the top with this idea of what it means to be a Trump supporter or a Republican now, because he has come out and officially said that he doesn't want anybody. He literally said he doesn't want anybody that's not loyal to him, not Republicans, not the country, but to MAGA in him. Now, does that sound more dictatorish?
Well, and all the people that everyone said. I mean, remember I told you all these fucking scumbags, all these people who said that that they were moderates, you know, Elise Stefanik's. Now they are like, they sound like fucking Goebbels. They sound like fucking, you know, like fucking Mussolini. They're like, these are right. It's crazy how right in line these moderates. I mean, even Nikki Haley, who's out here bashing him, you know, because she's against him, because she's, you know, running against him, but it's saying that she'd pardon him. I love it. We need to pardon him for the country. He shouldn't be prosecuted for the country. What is that? What the fuck? Somebody has to explain this to me, other than a fucking you know, a sycophant. How does it help the country to allow someone to get away with 91 crimes,
including trying to overthrow the government?
Yeah, and trying to how does it help to not prosecute that person? That's so weird. It's like going, Ty, I know this guy murdered your family, but for the sake of your family, you need to have him over for dinner and let him hook up with your sister. All right, for the sake of the family. For the sake of the family.
Exactly.
Well, I don't wouldn't it be better to put him in jail? Ty, you know how destructive that'd be for your family if the guy who, for the rest of your family, if the guy who killed all of killed these people, if that guy had to go to prison, I mean, that would be so,
bro,
your family.
It's crazy because they're using that same argument when it comes to why they can't invoke the 14th Amendment. They're like, well, come on, man, it's dividing the country. They literally put it in the Constitution for shit like this.
Right. What's the point of that? Exactly. Well, yeah. What's the point of having it? Like, I know I'm driving drunk, officer, but it would be really divisive if you took me in on this drunk driving. I mean,
it's
that's why we have the law, sir.
It's what's crazy because, again, these are also the same people that when it comes to the Second Amendment, the first thing they cite is the Constitution. When it comes to freedom of speech, the first thing they cite is the Constitution. They never ever say, I've never heard a single, not even one, Trump supporter say, well, you know what? Yeah, we probably should stop Trump from saying all this shit, man. Yeah, I know it's in the Constitution with the freedom of speech, man, but you know what? Since we don't want him to be held accountable with the whole 14th Amendment, you know, we got to just cherry pick this and let's stop him from saying. No, they're like, nope, freedom of speech. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to say. And as far as guns, I'm gonna go buy this bazooka. So it's weird to me that, and again, I told you, I understand why they do it as the Republican Party or the MAGA Party now. It's you know, Mitch McConnell doesn't even say shit now. Mitch McConnell, he's officially being treated like the grandpa, go get in the room and shut the fuck up.
Isn't it crazy that, like, even Mitch McConnell on the border stuff was like, we've got to work together to get and they're like, you fucking liberal. Like Mitch McConnell, the guy, the probably the difference that, like, Mitch McConnell is evil. Trump is evil, but he's also just fucking stupid and he's easily manipulated and he just wants to be loved by his fucking goofy ass fucking weirdos. That's Trump's problem. Mitch McConnell is a calculated evil motherfucker who's on their side, who completely fucked over the Supreme Court. And they don't even like him because he said, well, maybe we should work together on this one border thing. With the border thing, by the way, which is the thing that you've been fucking bitching about
Well, but this is why I say it goes back to the people to say, like, well, okay, I see why Mitch McConnell is staying silent. I see why Trump is trying to get this, not taken care of because he thinks it's going to help him politically. I see why Republicans are falling in line. Why are you, as the voter who claims to be educated, who claims to be a patriot, who claims to care about the issue at the border, why are you not upset at your elected officials that you sent to office to do shit for you? Why are you not upset that they're letting the dude who isn't in office make the decisions based off of what's affecting you right now? Why are you not upset about that? And again, I can't stop. I have to stop believing in people. I have to, because the thing that makes me frustrated is because I continue to believe in people. And when I see the Elise Stefanik's, because I already expected with Marjorie Taylor Greene. By the way, Marjorie Taylor Greene, if you're watching this show, which I know you're not, he's not picking you as a VP. He will not pick you as a VP candidate. Let me tell you the number one reason why. One, he wants to win. And he knows if he picks you, moderates are the fuck out of there. They are not going to pick both of you motherfuckers. And they don't want you to be next in line as president.
Right. And they know, all of these people know that if somebody is cognitively impaired and if somebody is their health isn't in the fucking best, they aren't in the best of health between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, they know which one is the one that's more likely to fucking croak. And it ain't fucking Joe Biden.
Exactly.
And they're not handing the keys to fucking to the fucking caveman Barbie anytime soon.
Exactly. So I think, like I said, at this point, we have to start looking at the people more and saying, okay, do you guys really care about the border, or were you just kind of making this up? Because if you care about it, and it is an issue, because remember, we talked about it, was it last week or the week before that, where New Hampshire was concerned about the southern border. And they're like, but that's 2,000 miles away. And they said they cared about that issue 2,000 miles away more than their own lives. I'm gonna say it again. They cared about the issue of the border 2,000 miles away more than they cared about their own lives. That, to me, one, is stupid. Two, is stupid. Three, is driven by fear. And four, it's really stupid. So I think sometimes you have to step back and say, how do we remedy this with people? And we'll get to you guys' comments here in a second. You're absolutely right about Nikki Haley, because I don't know why she's still trying to straddle the fence. You're not getting picked. You're not. You might as well go all out. You might as well go all and save a little bit of face. Just a little, just a shred of decency. Because think about this, man. Imagine kissing somebody's ass. First of all, as an adult, you don't want to have to kiss anybody's ass. It's just, unless you're in the mood. But anything other than that, you're like, I don't want to have to kowtow to another adult. I don't have to do that shit. Now, it's one thing to do that. The other thing is kowtowing to a motherfucker that you know is dumber than you, and you know is a piece of shit. That has to be a serious mind fuck. That has to be like, hey man, we're not talking about kissing fucking Nelson Mandela's ass. Okay, nobody's gonna be mad at you if you kiss Nelson Mandela's ass. Like, it's Nelson Mandela, bro. It's Nelson Mandela. Man, I gotta kiss a little ass. It's Nelson Mandela. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Even if you say like what was it, to even put it just like in Hollywood terms, Denzel Washington. Okay, man, I'm not saying I'm not gonna kiss his ass and be like, hey, Denzel, every movie you made is the same quality of amazing. Everything you do. Hey, it's Denzel and I'm in the business. But this motherfucker, come on, man. Come on, as Ed Lover would say, come on, son. Come on.
Every woman knows the
This is just wild, bro. because it'll lead us, by the way, that leads us into the next thing that we're going to talk about with Snoop. Let me read a couple comments here before you jump in, bro. What up, Zen? How you feeling, bro? Are we going to talk about, yeah, we will talk about Snoop here in a second. Because I actually made I made a video. Two things. I want to show two videos. One, the Snoop thing I just did the other day, and then a project that I completed for a friend of ours, and I'll show that in a little bit. Robert says, I like the way Nikki Haley criticizes Trump. It helps the Dems. That's very true, Robert. My thing is, she could have helped herself if she would have had this energy a long time ago, like a long time ago. Like, and I'm saying this as a person that's never voting for a Republican. If she would have come out with this kind of fire and called this dude out like this, it would have moved the needle a little. Now, I'm not saying it would guarantee her the nomination, but it would have given people moderates. It would have given them this thing of, okay, all right, she's bold enough to stand up to Trump. Cool. And she's not crazy like him. All right. Let's see. But she kissed his ass up into the very last second of not being able to kiss his ass without looking like she's kissing his ass. So, yeah. Anyway, what up, Jack? Jack has a comment here. Jack says, my 85-year-old Appalachian conservative mom says she wants Nikki over Trump. Telling you, South Carolina is going to be weird.
But the problem, though, is that the problem isn't I don't even know why we're even consider giving a crap about the primary. The problem isn't the primary, because the problem is all these people that are like they keep showing these, going to these, the primaries or the caucuses, and they're like, and I'm tired of Trump. I want to move on. I want to move on from Trump. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. You want to move on? Yeah, I want to move on. I'm voting Nikki Haley. I'm voting for whatever. And then they go, okay, cool. Well, what happens if he wins? Well, then I'm voting for him. So it's like they're tired of him and they want to move on from him until it's him and Joe Biden, which is what it's going to be. So I don't give a fuck that they're voting for Nikki Haley now. She ain't going to win. What matters is that they're still going to vote for fucking Trump. They're in a cult. They're still in a fucking cult.
And that's the thing. JE says dossier is back in play. The PP tapes are out there. I have to believe, JE, that there has to either be dirt on the rest of these people. Like we already talked about it with Lindsey Graham. There has to be something going on with Lindsey Graham. Has to be something going on with a lot of these cats. But I can't believe that there's dirt on all of them. A lot of them, I feel, are just petrified. First of all, again, why are you scared of Car Wash Biff? This is Car Wash Biff we're talking.
That's why I also don't buy that. A lot of people are like, they say behind closed doors, everyone hates Trump in Congress, but they're afraid of his supporters coming and killing him. It's like killing them. It's like, okay, I get that, and we do know that the Republicans are driven by fear and they're fucking pussies. That's why they got to have their guns and they got to have, all that sort of shit. And that's why they're afraid of the border and all that kind of stuff, because they're fucking giant fucking pussies. But my thing is like, okay, so you're just going to come out and say, hey, I'm a Republican. I really don't like Trump anymore. I'm going to vote against him a couple times, whatever. You think that's going to get you murdered? But the people who they've actually had threats against, like the judges, and
nothing's happened to them.
Nothing's happened to them. These people are fucking clowns. They talk a lot. Yeah, every now and then you get one of these fucking bombers. You get one of these fucking Dylan Roofs. You get one of these fucking, one of these the MAGA bomber, or one of these fucking crazy people that actually does something. But for the they've been talking about civil war again since the last Civil War. They're fucking bitches. They're not gonna fucking do anything. They are fucking. If you were a tough guy who was gonna do something, you wouldn't need a fucking AR to go get your fucking latte at Starbucks. Right. You need that because you're a fucking pussy. All right. So guys are like, well, I got my AR and I'm gonna civil war your ass and I'm gonna come after you, you fucking N-word judge, you da-da-da. You're not doing shit, Cooter. Nothing. You're fucking, all you're gonna do is accidentally shoot your kid someday. Stop.
And that's the thing is like the fact that Republicans haven't looked at the fact that nothing's happened to these judges. I mean, threats, yeah, people are going to make threats. It happens, but nothing's happened to them. Why are they not looking at that? Like, Okay, well, yeah, they were threatened, but nothing. They're still alive and all this stuff.
Right. So
And that's
so maybe
one,
I can have this much fucking balls.
just a little, just a little. Just need a tiny ball.
All you gotta say is, hey guys, I don't really like Trump. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna vote for this border bill because you guys keep saying what we want, which we have to talk about a little bit. We'll talk Snoop and Haba and all sort of stuff, but these fucking clowns, all you do is complain about the border. You got your fucking you returned women's rights back to the fucking Handmaid's Tale already, so you got that. The economy is fucking booming. The stock market is fucking booming. Interest rates are going down. I mean, Fox News is having to report it. They're like, interest rates are down. GDP is up. The best we've ever had. Highest stock market for 3 straight weeks. like they're literally. It's funny. There's like news reports of them going, "Oh, today's stock market's god damn it, Taylor Swift." So they're looking for anything. So now they're like border. Where's border? Did you know that last week 27 billion people came across the border and everyone in America got raped? It was crazy. Mexicans. And then we go, well, how about we stop it? Well, no, we can't stop it because then it'll make Biden look good. Like literally, Trump said that. Literally, he said, no, do not vote for this. He hasn't seen it. He's like, it's got all these. He has not seen it. He has not been told about it. He knows nothing about what's in this fucking bill. And even Mitch McConnell's like, this is they compromise with this. And if you look at the bill, it's as right wing as any right wing thing out there. The Democrats are like, okay, let's do something about the border. There's Democrats that are against this bill, lots of them, because they're like, it's a little too right wing. But they're like, well, we'll vote for it because the good stuff is the good stuff, and we left out some of the stuff. I mean, some of the really good stuff we wanted, and we brought in some of this bad stuff we don't want. But we all agree we need to do something because it is a bit out of control. And hey, if that's a big talking point that a lot of America wants, well, I guess we have to do something. So they stepped up and did something. And now Trump comes in and says, you can't vote for it because it'll look good to Biden. And they're like, okay, how do you not see this and go, they don't give a fuck about you or the country or anything that you say you care about. You have to be, I mean, we already know they're fucking dumb as a box of rocks, but they're like I don't even know how they're dumber than that. Like, I don't know how fucking dumb and how fucking corrupt and how much of a fucking cult you need to be in to not even see that they are sabotaging the only political thing you have left that you say you want. Just, you say it's they literally said, the Republicans said it's a crisis. We have to shut down the government. We should impeach Joe Biden because of the crisis of the border. It is the biggest crisis, and it's an existential crisis. It's worse than COVID. It's worse than 9/11. It's the most existential crisis we've ever faced. Cool, let's solve it. Well, wait, would you guys sign it? Yeah. Well, then no.
And that's what I mean by, and I know I sound like a broken record when I say this, man, but it really does come down to this. It really does come down to, this is, and I was telling somebody, a friend of mine, this when we were talking about one of these other issues, and I said, hey man, I'm sending you a link to something, and I sent him the story and of one of these things that we're talking about in the show this week. And I said, you know what's crazy about what I sent you is it only took me 5 seconds to Google it. It took me 5 seconds to Google what I just sent you. I said, I didn't have to have a black bag put over my head. I didn't get thrown into a Jeep and have to go into a skiv where we had to read this shit under a black light. None of that. I said, all of this shit is available on your fucking phone, on your tablet, on your smartphone.
Who is this? Which conversation?
This was about the clip that I'm going to show here in a second, okay. About the representative in Florida who got busted for trying to take credit for bills. But like, it all still falls under the same umbrella of, this is all information that's available to all human beings that have access to the internet. And if you're choosing not to look at it, if you're choosing not to believe it, because like you just said, he's complaining about a bill that he hasn't read. He hasn't read it. There's no way he could read it.
Right. He's not even in government.
He's not in government. So you taking the word, and again, taking the word of a fucking liar, blatant liar, that has nothing to do with Joe Biden. It has absolutely nothing to do with him being 81 years old. That has nothing to do with the crime bill. That has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. That has nothing to do with Hunter Biden. It has nothing to do with Obama. It has to do with you motherfuckers just saying, la, 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 I don't want to hear it because it's going to make my head explode because I'm going to have to realize that I'm in a goddamn cult and that these people have been lying to me. And if I do that, then I got to realize I'm going to lose my circle of friends that have been cool with me this whole time because we believe the same bullshit. Say that. That's the part that makes sense. Everything else sounds goofy as fuck. That sounds like it makes sense. You know what? I don't want to believe the shit you're saying. I don't want to believe it. I'm not going to believe it. Ian, Ty, I'm not going to believe it. I'm not going to believe anything you say. Is it because it's not true? No, I just don't want to believe it. Okay. There we go. That's the starting point. That's where we can start. That's you telling me that you're being willfully ignorant. This is what he's thriving on. Is you motherfuckers being willfully ignorant. Stop blaming Joe Biden. Stop blaming because it ain't about the border no more. Because if it was about the border, you would be incensed at your Republican representatives. You motherfuckers up in New Hampshire, you would be angry as fuck that they're sitting there impeding this bill for a dude that ain't even in office. So stop it with the bullshit. So I want to show you guys something. And this is what I mean by, this was on TV in Florida. This was in Florida, on TV, in Florida, where a lot of conservatives live, where a lot of fucking people say Democrats don't get shit done. Democrats don't do shit. Democrats just talk shit. They don't do shit. Okay. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Ian. If you have, cool. If you haven't, I want to get your thoughts on it. I want to get you guys' thoughts about this on the other side. But it's sometimes, you know, you find these moments, and I wish more reporters did this. And I'm just going to show you here. Let me go to the screen share, pull this up. And I'm not going to play the whole thing. I just want you guys to see enough of this to where you understand that this is how we got to treat these motherfuckers now.
On in Congress and the fact that Congress doesn't seem to be able to.
Let's go to the Americas Act, which goes ties with Argentina.
No, let me go to spending,
which I also introduced in Congress.
Last month, you were at FIU and you presented a check for $650,000 to help small businesses at FIU. But you voted against the bill that gave the money that you then signed a check for and handed and had a photo op, the Consolidated Appropriations Act of 2023, right? You voted against that bill.
Right now, you have to give me more details, but I do know that every time I have an opportunity to bring money to my constituents, I do so. I just did $400,000. But look,
well, but you voted against the Chips and Science Act, right?
Listen, right now I need to ask my staff. But what do we look at the $40 million that I have brought to this community? Aren't you proud of me? Aren't you proud of the $40 million that I brought?
But how
Aren't you proud that I wrote the Dignity Act? Haven't I? Let's talk about the Americas Act.
Wait a second. Let me 1 second.
Tell me.
The money that you talk about, the $40 million that you bring back to the district, sometimes that money comes from bills that you voted against. You voted against the CHIPS Act, and yet you praise the fact that the South Florida Climate Resilience Tech Hub is going to be started in Miami, right? You voted against the infrastructure bill, and you talk about all the money that comes back to the airport. So at the same time that you're taking credit for the money that you bring back to the district, in Washington, you're voting against these projects on party line votes.
Listen, that was, I think, last cycle. I cannot really remember right now, but let's look at the Americas Act, which is what I'm going to, which is
so
what I would like.
You don't want to explain why you voted against things.
I mean, right now, and I'm not trying to be a politician, there's so many bills that I've introduced that I know that many of them
these are bills that you voted against.
That I understand. But it's okay. Sometimes I vote and sometimes I don't. But let's look at the
Okay. Now, let me just say that, well, let me get your thoughts.
Sometimes I vote and sometimes I don't.
Yeah. So now let me tell you.
She doesn't know what she voted. So here's the thing. We know what she voted for. This guy knows what she voted for. Apparently her staffers know what she voted for.
Right.
But she doesn't know what she voted for. So at the very least, that should disqualify for her for being in office. If you don't even know what you're voting for, but your staffers, I got to ask my assistant what I voted for. So your assistant knows what you voted for, but you don't. So
Can you get her in office?
Yeah. So you have the worst memory on the planet, or you're a liar, or you've got major head trauma.
Yeah.
Or it's yeah, it's crazy. Over and over, they're taking credit for infrastructure and all sorts of shit.
And I want to get you guys' comments here in a second, but here are my thoughts on that. And the reason why I prefaced that clip by saying that was on public TV. That was publicly aired. Now, it's up to the Republican voters to look at that and say, well, wait a minute, that CHIPS and Science Act actually is helping me. I need it. It helps my business. My Republican representative voted against it and is trying to take credit for it. Is it a good thing to take credit for something that you voted against? This is where the critical thinking comes in of me as an adult. Is it a good thing to take credit for something that you vote against? If your answer is, it's okay, then stop talking to me about how Democrats and Republicans are the same. That's one. Stop talking to me about how Democrats don't get shit done, because that's bullshit.
The other thing is always cracks me up. It's always Florida. And, they talk about Latinos or whatever, Latinas, Hispanics, whatever. And they're always like, every time you point out, you go, how the fuck are these Marco Rubio, Eduardo Cruz, this fucking scumbag. It's always these Latinos. You're like, how the fuck are you guys right wing and pro Trump? And the answer is always, well, down in Florida or Texas, they're Cubans, so they don't want to return to Castro. And I'm like, okay, let's look at that. Well, first off, nobody in American politics wants to be like Cuba under Castro. Castro was a dictator. Yes, you can say he was a communist, but he was a fucking dictator. And I mean, so that makes you vote right wing. And now you're so right wing that you're for, wait for it, a dictator. Because you don't want a dictator.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
And you go, well, wait, why? And you're voting for a dictator who doesn't like brown people, and his people don't like brown people. At least under Castro, you had a brown dictator who just didn't have a racial problem with brown people. He just was a dictator. So now you want a white supremacist dictator because communism. So either, again, where we need an IQ test is for running for office. If you are that fucking stupid, you shouldn't be running fucking what, you shouldn't be fucking working the drive-thru at McDonald's, right? It's, and no offense to anybody who works the drive-thru at McDonald's, but what the fuck? Like, you are that fucking stupid. You're a Latino in this fucking country who's voting for a white supremacist dictator because your parents, probably not even you, left a Cuban dictator.
And see, this is the thing that trips me out about this, is that this is all out there. This isn't like secret. And you can look and see what this dude is about. You can look and see where you came from and what that dude was about. But you also can look at these things and say, well, wait a minute. I'm of the mindset, what's on paper? What are you putting in front of me? What's tangible? What's the thing in front of me that I can look at and say, okay, that right there, I can see it. It's written down. That's the thing you're saying that we should do. And this is the thing you're proposing. Got it. And it's up to me to take that information, break it down, and make the best educated decision. It's a very important word, educated. Make the best educated decision. I can't make my decisions based off of fear. I mean, well, you know what? Let me qualify that. I have a fear that dude is going to get back in office. So I do my due diligence and educate myself on everything to make sure that I do what I can to avoid that situation.
Right.
So again, fear can drive some stuff. Of course. Don't play with matches. Don't run around playing with matches. Yes, that's a fear. but you have to make these decisions based off educated decisions and having the information. When I see people constantly being able, because man, I'm so goddamn tired of people saying, well, Republicans are just good at messaging. No, we gotta stop giving them credit for their voters being dumb, for their voters being hate-filled, for their voters being willfully ignorant, for their voters being easily manipulated. That's not good messaging. You just have rubes. That's it. That's all it is. They're just easily manipulated rubes. That's it.
Well,
We're not talking about a bunch of Einsteins here. They're like, wait, E equals MC squared, and then the Pythagorean theorem with no. These are motherfuckers that are just like, okay, red, blue. I pick red. I go red because the red is the thing with the red. No, that's what this is. That's all this is. So, or they do know that their side is evil and they're okay with it. That's fine. It's just what it is. But don't give me the bullshit, man. I'm tired of the bullshit, bro.
And really quickly, so Jackson says here, Cubans don't like Dems because they're really afraid of far left Bernie Sanders crew. They're afraid of socialism. Yeah, well, that's what I was just saying. That's because they're fucking idiots. That's what I'm saying. And Sean points out there's a difference between communism. So first off, socialism and communism are not the same thing. I don't know why this is so hard for people to understand. I learned this in middle school government, and then again in 2 or 3 times in high school. For those of you in the back of the room, or those of you in the fucking back of the trailer park, governments have 2 systems: a governmental system, economic system. The government system is how the rules and regulations, the Constitution work to govern. The economic system is how the money works, where the money comes from, where it goes, how it's used. Socialism is an economic system. Okay, so when they say they were National Socialists, first off, they weren't even socialists. They just used it. They were nationalists. We're talking about the Nazis, National Socialists. The USSR were socialists and communists. Okay, the problem is communism. While people say it's always good on paper, but it doesn't work in reality. Yes, all governments are good on paper, or most governments are good on paper, and they're shitty in reality. If you had a benevolent, genius, all-loving, amazing dictator, it would probably be fucking awesome. If you had a guy who was like, hey, no one has to die, no one gets to get hurt, everyone's fed, and I'm just going to snap my fingers and it's true, that'd probably be fucking awesome. Yeah, that would, but that doesn't happen because power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We know this. So what happens in communism is, yes, all the government gets to decide who gets what, and they're supposed to dole everything out equally. But once they get a taste of that money and that power, it becomes a little less equal, and a little less equal, and a little less equal. Same thing with capitalism. Capitalism sounds great. Oh, if money drives it, and if you sell something and I sell something and I can do it a little better for a little cheaper, people are going to buy mine, and that's going to make yours a little better and a little cheaper. Except for what happens is this guy goes, hey, I'm making it cheaper and better, and people are still paying this guy. You know what? I can make it shittier and charge more, and they'll still pay for it. And then this guy goes, wait, they're charging more? I'm going to charge more. That's what happens in capitalism. Things get shittier and more expensive, not cheaper and better. So because of greed. So, and in our system, we have a republic, which we vote for representatives to represent us. And then we say capitalism, he with the most money wins. That's set up to lose. You can't have a room for 100 people and say, okay, you two are going to represent these people and you two are going to represent these people. And by the way, this guy over here has got a shit ton of money and these people down here have none. Go represent fairly. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, at the end of the day, whoever gets the most money wins. You're like, well, wait, so you people have no money and you want me to represent you. This guy's got a lot of money and he wants me to represent him. And the guy with the most money wins. I guess I'm going with this guy because that's how this works. So these fucking clueless Cuban morons who think that what was communism, which is what was it was basically the USSR light in Cuba. It's a dictatorship. The governmental system was the problem. Nobody in Cuba was like, this damn healthcare system. In fact, there were some things in Cuba that were actually pretty fucking good. But there's also way too many oppressive things because it was a dictatorship pretending to be, or communism that turned into a dictatorship. Like all these things, they all turn into oligarchies or dictatorships. Every fucking one of them. Democracies, republics, they all turn into, unless you have a pure straight democracy, which is really fucking hard, they all turn into oligarchies or dictatorships. All of them. So these fucking idiots, if you're in fucking American politics in the Congress and you don't know the difference between communism and socialism, you should be back in middle school. I don't know why this is so fucking hard.
By the way, you guys, Ian Harris is good as fuck with communists and capitalists and shitty numbers. When you were talking, bro,
people go, well, the Nazis were socialists, and so you want to be yes, dude. The Nazis and Bernie Sanders are exactly the same. You fucking moron.
And I told you, bro, that's what's weird to me when they try to sound educated but sound dumber than fuck. So here's the thing, man. When you were talking, this reminded me of an episode, and I'm gonna. Some people, if you watch the Twilight Zone, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you don't watch the Twilight Zone, you should watch it. It's a great, it's Rod Serling. But J.E. says Ian Harris is good as fuck with numbers and shit. So big shout out to J.E. We will talk about Haba in here in a second, bro. It reminded me of an episode of the Twilight Zone where Peter Falk, actually, Columbo, guest starred as a dude who took over.
You fucking love Peter Falk.
Hey, man, I told you, bro. I still to this day driving down Sunset, saw him on the side, almost turned around. That's my dude. They're showing a Columbo marathon today, so
you know what would have been great? You should have asked him for directions, and then right before you leave, I go, one more thing.
One more thing. One more thing. It's just okay. So you see it. Hey, dude, I can officially say I've seen every single episode of Columbo. I have. But it reminded me of an episode of the Twilight Zone where Peter Falk plays a Castro type of dude where he takes over and then he goes on the balcony and he talks to the people and he says, we're gonna have a new day, and this is no more oppression by this regime, that blah blah blah. And then he's given this magical mirror, and in the mirror it makes him see his supposed enemies. And so long story short, every time he looks in the mirror, he sees one of the people that help him overthrow the government as an enemy, and he slowly kills each one of them until he ends up killing himself. And when you were breaking that down just now about how dictatorships start and from communism to dictatorship, it made me think of that, where these people are like, are you not understanding that if you vote for the people who care little to nothing about you, eventually it will catch up to you? It just will. That's just how dictatorship. There is no good dictator in the history of dictators. None. There's no, hey, Clifford, the friendly dictatorship. That's never a thing. That's never going to happen. So when people don't
Clifford,
get that,
the big red dictator.
That's exactly. They don't, for them not to understand that, and they're adults is just mind-boggling to me, because it's like you do know you're going to make decisions for other people. Like you probably have kids. These people probably have kids, and they're going to take your lead. So you're gonna raise up another generation of dummies, and the cycle just continues. All you have to do is take a little bit of time to educate yourself. And what I've also found, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this, by the way, because I hear the other narrative is that some people do know that that guy is bad and he's not a good person, but they don't want to fuck up their social circles. And I want to get you guys' opinion on that, because I've been hearing a little bit more chirping. It's like, well, I know it's bad, we just don't talk about it. Do you understand how goofy that sounds? To say that I know something is bad and I just won't say anything about it because I don't want to lose my friend. First of all, if your friend is willing to vote to destroy the country that you also live in, and it doesn't give a fuck about the people that look like you or other people that you care about, you should probably change friends. Can you? What do you fucking think is gonna happen that if he gets back in, the world goes to shit, and you guys are still sitting there like, hey, yeah, I know nuclear bombs are dropping and everything. I know. Hey, are we still on for the reservations at the restaurant today? That's not gonna be a thing. There won't be a restaurant. It won't be a thing. It's just weird to me, bro.
So, but really quick, I want to play this. I'll play this video. I like this guy. Sometimes like, he's usually pretty good. David Pakman. A lot of people know he is. But this one was really funny. He had a call.
Real quick, Zen. She did not say she wanted to fuck. She did not say that. I know he's not letting that go. He's never gonna let me live that down. Go ahead, bro.
So that's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, this is. I wish we could have conversations like this. I don't think it may have changed this guy's mind. It probably didn't, but it would change some minds. And I love this conversation. This is how we need to talk to all of these people, and we need to do this on a mass level for the next 8-9 months. But I love this. This is such a great call. I'm gonna share this. I don't know if you guys know who David Pakman is. He's does what YouTube guy, whatever.
I like his shit.
So I'm gonna share this really quick. Share sound. Boom. All right. Check this out. He takes a phone call.
For Biden will be enough for them to defeat him.
Well, I'll answer that. But David, when you say Republicans seem excited for Trump, aren't you a Trump Republican? Like, are you excited for Trump?
No, I'm not excited for Trump.
But you're voting for him?
Yes.
Why?
Just because I lean more fiscally conservative.
And which Trump policies are fiscally conservative?
Well, I don't think it's a matter of just the policies. I think it's just reining things in and not spending as much money. I think both parties are big spenders.
But Trump blew up the deficit in historic ways. How is that fiscally conservative?
Well, if you remember what was happening with COVID and all the COVID relief that really blew it up.
I mean, before that, though.
Well, the deficit goes up every single year, no matter who's in charge.
The debt goes up every single year. The deficit goes up, or it can sometimes go down. It went down under Obama.
Oh, it did go down under Obama. Well, I liked Obama.
Okay.
But from what
here's my confusion, David. Here's my confusion. You call in, you say, I'm a Trump supporter. I go, okay. So you're excited about Trump. You go, no, I'm conservative, so I'm voting Trump. I say, great. Which fiscally conservative things? You go, well, reining in the spending. I go, well, Trump blew up the deficit. So why are you voting Trump?
Well, I'm voting for Trump just because, in general, the spending is less under Republicans.
But that's not true. Republican presidents have a history of growing the deficit dramatically. We saw it under Trump. We saw it under Bush. It's been decades since Republicans spent less than Democrats as president. It's just factually untrue.
Well, I just think with hold on, let me think about it for a second.
Yeah, I'm curious, and I'm not playing gotcha with you. We have calls like this where people, they say one thing, and then I talk to them and they've misunderstood or don't know the facts, but then they go, I don't know, I'm still voting for Trump.
No, I mean I'm very much on the fence. This could be something I research and change my mind on.
Yeah.
Because I don't like him as a person. I just normally just see, at least with the rhetoric, about the only way to solve problems on the Democratic side is just to throw money at more money on the problem. But
are you open to the idea that, like, you would agree that some problems are solved with money, right?
Sure. I mean, I think a lot of things on the margin can be solved with some more money.
Yeah. So it really sounds much more like Biden would be the right choice for you than Trump, just from what you're telling me, David.
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, if I go and research this and just see that generally under Biden, they're being a little more conservative. I mean, I'm just worried about everything that happened with inflation.
Great. Sorry,
but what do you think? What's happening with inflation? Tell me, what has happened with inflation in the last 18 months?
Well, in the last 18 months, the Fed's been bringing it down.
So you agree inflation is down dramatically under Biden?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think it had anything to do with him or his policies or anything like that.
Well, but I guess the question but it has to do with the Fed based on who he selected to be there, right?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sure. I mean, I think any good president is gonna try to keep inflation in line and
Any what?
But again, David, the reason I'm asking is you said you're concerned about Biden because of what's been happening with inflation. And then you just told me inflation's
I
way
think
down.
It's more just Democratic policies in general, just more spending all the time.
But you realize that Obama lowered the deficit. Clinton had a surplus, whereas George W. Bush and Trump blew up the deficit. What I'm trying to communicate to you is you have your understanding of what's going on based, it sounds like, on rhetoric, and it's counter to the facts. And I'm curious whether it's the rhetoric or the facts that are more appealing to you.
No, it's definitely the facts. I mean, I had no.
Anyway,
two things real quick that stood out to me in that conversation. And it reminded me of something that you say on the show a lot. Like if you looked at what people's policies were, they would align more with what they wanted. They would align more with what Democrats proposed. That was one. The other thing is, he says, I don't like him as a person.
right.
How do you go vote for somebody that you don't like as a person? Now, when I say that, don't get me wrong, because I know people will be like, well,
He perceives it makes him money.
yeah, exactly. But see, now here's the thing.
Money's more important than people.
But again,
and it's not even money.
let me put it on street terms, drug dealer terms. But real quick side note, Hillary Clinton, yes. Okay, you can look at Hillary Clinton and say, well, yeah, am I gonna go hang out at a bar with Hillary Clinton? No. But when it came time to do the job, when it came time to do the job, she's 1,000 times more qualified. And she doesn't seem evil. She just doesn't seem like somebody that, hey, let's just go kick it with. That doesn't mean I don't like her as a person. It just means that I think she's a better person and she's more qualified for the job. That's one. But let's put this in street terms, drug-wise. If you are a drug dealer, even drug dealers know that you can't trust certain people to do certain things. You don't turn your back on them. You don't give out certain information. You don't have product on you. You don't do any of these things if you don't trust that person, versus the person that you can trust to bag it up, not pocket it, not take some of the profit, not shoot you in the back of the head when you turn around. So if this dude is saying, hey, I'm going to vote for this guy even though I don't like him as a person, that makes no goddamn sense to me. Because you wouldn't apply that in any other thing in your fucking life. Nothing. Hey, man, we're going to go out to a party tonight, and it's at this guy's house, and, you know, it's going to be food there and all that stuff. But remember, it's that guy that punched you in the face last week because you said something and he thought you was looking at this lady. He punched you in the face. It's at his house. You want to go? You're not fucking going. Because he punched you in your fucking face.
Wait, but Ty, does he make those little sandwiches I like?
Exactly.
Because, I mean,
what's the cost of going to this party?
I could look the other way if he makes those little. But here's this guy's argument. No, he's not going to make those sandwiches. But you know what? Remember the girl who when you last week you met and your shoulders were sore and she gave you a massage just to be nice. She does have a party with those little sandwiches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but does she really make sandwiches?
What's in the sandwich, though? What's in the sandwich? I mean, what kind of bread? Is it whole grain? Because, you know, I only prefer whole grain. And then, well, I mean, it depends. What kind of mayonnaise? Is it light mayonnaise? And it's because, you know, you guys always put too much mayonnaise and stuff. Well, that's not true. She makes actually with moderate amount of mayonnaise. But that's what I mean, bro, is that when I watch these things, it's frustrating because he's tried to sound like he understood things like deficit and inflation and those stuff. But when Pac-Man says, okay, well, if those are the things that you care about, what was the line he said that today says, well, any good president is going to do what they need. Okay, so then you admit it.
He's a good president.
He's a good president. So why would you Why would you go vote for the other
You
guy?
just said he's a good president and he's a better person.
Yes. So why go vote for the other person? Somebody said, and they said it best here. They said Krista said real and anti. Somebody said you'd be better off just saying it was. Is it?
Corey.
Corey says it would make more sense to just say I'm voting for Trump because fuck you. Okay, okay, say that. That's the part that makes 1,000 times more sense. I told you I wouldn't like it, and I still would call you a shitty person if that's the reason. But don't stop with the policy shit because you can't name any. Dude, I've been asking for 4 years. Name the policies that you love.
Then Zen says maybe he was thinking of defecate, which, by the way, if you want defecation at the Capitol, Republicans are the one for you.
Exactly. Those are your people.
January 6th, they were defecating all over the Capitol. By the way, our buddy, when you were on that comment, I don't know if you saw my comment, but I commented back yesterday on that. You're Sam Tripoli. You're on Sam's page, and that's what we're facing. So our friend's a comedian, and he's a conspiracy nut job, whatever, and he posted a screenshot of the Telegraph, which is a major newspaper, with a headline that said masks confirmed masks didn't stop the spread of COVID or something like that. Which, first off, nobody said masks stopped the spread of COVID. They said they slowed the spread of COVID. Right. And we couldn't, there was no link. We couldn't click the article.
Just a screenshot.
Just a screenshot of a headline. First off, headlines say that. And then when you click in it, it says ... say people who don't know what they're talking about. But when you look at the research, they actually do stop. So you posted a headline on again on the Telegraph. The Telegraph. It wasn't fucking Ty's underwear blogspot.org. It was the Telegraph.
Which is going to launch tomorrow, by the way.
Launch tomorrow, yes. Lots of good information on there. The bold are the best. And so Ty made a comment, and all these people started railing into him, all these conspiracy theorists. And one girl said, I don't trust the mainstream media. And I'm like, well, first off, this is the Telegraph. It's not, it's pretty fucking known. It's pretty mainstream. Second of all, then he goes, wait, I was like, well, then you don't trust the mainstream media, then where do you get your media? And she was like, she literally said, the mainstream media is trying to sell you a product.
Yeah.
So I trust Sam over the mainstream media. First off, folks, Sam Tripoli is a comedian with a conspiracy theory podcast. He is selling.
Literally. That's what he does.
It's called Tinfoil Hat People or something. And he is, and I thought it started out as a joke, but it feels like he's gone down that path now. But he is literally selling you him and his brand of conspiracy nonsense. He's not a scientist. No offense. He's not the brightest guy I've ever met. He's a comedian who does conspiracy theory stuff. That on Instagram, that's his thing. He's got a following and he's on Instagram. He probably gets paid being an influencer and doing shows and whatever. And she literally said, I trust this guy's word on medical things.
Thank you.
And then she says, and it's like, yes, but he posted a screenshot of a headline from a mainstream media source.
Which is right-wing leaning, by the way. Because the first thing I did when I saw that was I said, okay, let me look at the Telegraph. Let me look because I want to represent our brand of critical thinking podcast with Ian Harris and Ty Barnett. So I Googled the Telegraph. And I said, well, let me look see what this is. It's conservative leaning. Okay, that doesn't mean that they can't print any truth. So I said, let me look a little further. It literally says in one of their parts, check out our agenda setting something. And I said, wait a minute, are you literally saying you want to set an agenda? So I said, I send this to the lady. I said, hey,
really?
Yeah, I said, they're saying they have an agenda. And she said, well, they're not trying to push a product. I said, you can advertise on the Telegraph.
But also, what product is MSNBC pushing?
Yeah, but see, again, when
they're pushing MSNBC. What product is the Telegraph pushing? They're pushing Trump. And
exactly.
and they're pushing and they're pushing the Telegraph.
But that was my thing is that
What
when I
product
did
is-
all of
is
this,
MSNBC, what product is NPR pushing? They're just pushing NPR.
they don't. But again, man, when you push back on them, they instead of just walking away, I'd prefer these just walk away. Just say I don't have the information, because you notice all I kept asking was, hey, listen, you guys, even if you don't like me, that's cool. Just give me the information of the scientist that was stated in this article. And they say, oh, you got to do your research. I said, I did do my research. That's why I'm asking you guys, because I didn't find it.
Hold up. I've got to. So Daniel, who likes to, who I've invited on the show 1,000 times, can't make it, but he just posted that Trump didn't start any new wars. We're almost in World War III with Biden.
Hey, wait.
Hold up. Daniel, you are the most fucking this is the most nonsense. I can't believe that you're real. I don't even think you're fucking real, because that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. First off, Republicans have been behind the military-industrial complex since day fucking one. Every fucking protest, you fucking moron. God damn, you're stupid. I hate this shit.
No, do this. Hey, let's do this.
Hold up. I gotta say this time. I'm sorry. Every fucking war protest from the 60s to fucking recently, every fucking war protest is on the left, you fucking moron. Because the right starts every fucking war. Second of all, you fucking dipshit. Biden did not start the war in the fucking Middle East. Are you that fucking stupid? Are you that fucking uneducated that you don't know that this has been going on since the motherfucking 40s, you goddamn clown? Second of all, Hamas attacked for no reason. Okay, well, for the same reason they've been attacking and you can kind of actually research this shit if you would fucking open your goddamn eyes and read something for fucking once. This has been going on. Maybe you've never heard of it. The Palestinians and the Jews have been fighting over land, this Gaza, and Holy Land, the Strip. They've been for a little while. And guess what? Joe Biden had nothing to do with it. Okay? Zero, you fucking moron. Second of all, we are not in war or even close to World War III with Biden. Second of all, you fucking idiot, the reason that Ukraine is being attacked is because of dictators like Putin who knew they could get away with it because of the shit that the right wing has done under Trump. Because Trump loves Putin so much and wants to fucking blow him every day, because of that, now we have a chunk of people in the Republicans that won't even give aid to Ukraine. So the rest of the world is trying to protect Ukraine because there is a fucking dictator who wants to return the Eastern Europe into the USSR, and he's fucking said so, who is in Trump's he's got Trump on a fucking leash, and half the fucking Republican Party on the leash. So Biden didn't start any war. Well, Biden didn't start any wars either, you fucking dipshit. Neither did and guess what? You say Trump didn't start any new wars. Syria? We attacked in Syria. What the fuck are you talking about? We had multiple bombings on Trump. So we had fucking Iran. Do you remember Iran? Iran happened under Trump's watch.
Shout out to
You don't
Corey.
fucking remember that? And guess what?
Corey.
Obama didn't start any new wars either. Did he continue them? Yes. Were there strikes? Yes. There were no new wars started. The last war we have started was under George W. Bush. That is a fucking fact. We haven't started any new wars. Biden didn't start any wars. Trump didn't start any wars. And all of them have had attacks and airstrikes, including Trump, every single fucking one of them on their watch. But you're going to pretend that Republicans don't like war. We're just the peace-loving. Don't you remember in the 60s when the Republicans were out there going free love, peace, and Woodstock? You remember us Republicans out there trying to protest the Vietnam War? You Republicans hate war.
You talking about the same
Shut
Republicans
the
that stormed
fuck up,
the
you
Capitol?
idiot.
You talking about the same Republicans that stormed the Capitol?
Yeah,
You talking
yeah.
about the same-
Hey, what
Listen,
about that war? What about the Civil War that you fucking dipshits won?
Yes.
I'm sorry to go from 0 to 100 on your dumb
No.
podcast, but I've been
No.
inviting you on the show to talk rationally forever, and you come on here with this. Trump didn't start any war.
No apology
You fucking idiot!
needed.
You're a fucking goddamn fucking idiot.
No apology
God
needed,
damn.
my friend. No apology needed. So let me just say this really quick because it's hard to follow that. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Listen, I'm gonna say this, Daniel. I'm gonna give you two options, man.
Come on, and I'll be super calm. I give my word.
I'm gonna give you an option here, Daniel. We will still be on the show for at least about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. We promise Paul we won't go too long. Paul, send Paul, our producer, your email. Paul will send you a link right now. He will send you the Zoom link. You can come on the show right now, and you can have this discussion with us right now.
But
now,
also,
let me tell you what I think is going to happen. No, I'm sorry. Let me tell you what I know is going to happen. You're going to come up with any number of reasons why you don't have the time to do that, but you'll keep commenting. So you will have the time. You just don't have the time to show your face like a man.
But Republicans and Democrats love war.
Yeah, but
you know what? Republicans and Democrats don't love war. Okay, there are Republicans and there are Democrats who make money off war.
I'm confused. I'm confused because I could have sworn his first comment.
I'm pretty sure he was one of those. I'm pretty sure he was a Bernie bro, libertarian, fucking.
But his first comment, but his first comment literally only went after Republicans. So now his follow-up comment is Republicans and Democrats love war.
He's one of these new guys like fucking like who's that other fucking guy? He says he's listening while I'm driving and voice texting. That's fine. We'll have you on another time.
Oh, man,
look.
It's always that. It's always that. It's always that. Hold on. It's every single fucking time. It's always that. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I got Bible study. Oh, I got to go do some mercenary shit. It's always that.
I mean, I'm glad he's commenting here because I do really want to talk to you, Danny, because I've seen you for years. We've been Facebook friends, I think, through atheism for years, and you seem to be like at one point you were kind of like normal and rational, and you cared about people, and you're not as bad as Woodmore, that fucking clown, but who also had like pictures of I'm at the Pride Parade, and then like 2 years later he's like, "Fuck you, you faggot, ha ha ha," like that shit on my page, yeah, whatever. But what is this? So Democrats and Republicans love war. No, could you be any more fucking general? There are Democrats that profit off war. There are far more Republicans that profit off war. That is literally their brand. The Republicans have been the military industrial complex party for a century. They've been all about the fucking wars, starting all the wars, wanting to be. Are you kidding me? Every fucking war, every fucking police action, everything we've done has been Republicans trying to give. Look at the budget. Every time there's a budget, the Republicans do a budget. Defense spending, which is basically just fucking giving their friends money to build fucking bombers and fucking aircraft carriers and shit that we don't fucking need, that we don't even fucking use, and then find a reason to use them to that's been in their budget every time. The Democrats try to cut that budget every fucking time, and you dipshits go, well, we can't spend any more taxes on helping people with their problems because we need to buy 90,000 more fucking $1 billion bombers. That's you fucking. That's the Republicans. That's the shit you say. We can't have socialized medicine. That would cost money. And then we're over here building aircraft carriers that we don't use anymore. That's the Republicans. What the fuck are you talking about? And even if you can say, okay, I can find a handful of Democrats that have voted for war stuff. Well, also, here's the other thing. Wars happen, okay? You have to have a military. We are the world police, unfortunately. That fucking sucks. But the fact is that wars happen because people are fighting, people are trying. If we just said, okay, we're not going to have a military, we're going to sit back, Putin would, and crazy motherfuckers like Putin and Xi and these people would fucking just run wild and try to fucking take over the fucking world. So we have to have strategic places. Yes, we have to have allies in the Middle East. We have to have allies in Asia. We have to have allies in Europe, and we have to have military bases. And every now and then, if something happens, and we got to go, we're dominant, bomb, bomb, bomb. Yes, it sucks, and that's just how life works. But to say that Democrats and Republicans both like war. So all politicians like wars, apparently. Okay, so then And is that the only thing you care about? So let's say that's true. Let's say that Republicans and Democrats and everybody wants war. All they do is sit around, and Nancy Pelosi sits around and goes, oh, if only I could figure out how to war. And Bernie Sanders was like, well, if only there was a way to make war. And then everyone was like, all we got to do is get back into war. And that's all they're doing is sitting around talking about how to get back into war. Okay. Then let's assume that war is going to happen. Let's make that our lowest issue. We're not going to stop it by voting either way. So let's then vote on the group of people who are doing other stuff. Let's forget about the war issue. We can protest and we can do our thing, but no matter who we vote for, they're going to give us war. Okay, then why don't we vote on, what could benefit me? What could benefit my people? What could benefit my friends? What could benefit my country? What could benefit the world? Oh, climate change. That's something we should take care of. Who's on that side? Oh, healthcare. That's something we need. Who's on that side? So then you vote on the fucking issues that do matter, since, what war? And you're never going to stop the fucking war from happening. Okay, then ignore the war and vote on something else. You fucking people are always just like, well, I'm only going to vote for the guy who didn't start any wars. But then you just said they all start wars. So you don't vote at all? Fine, stay the fuck home.
So I want to ask him something, because I looked at his profile picture. If he's a real person, I'm just assuming. You say you know this person, like you've spoken to him. Is he a real?
No, but I'm saying, but I know people who we have.
Okay, so let's go with that. Let's go with that. He's a real person, because I looked at his profile picture. It seems like he has a wife and a kid. So Daniel, I want to ask you something. What economic policies, and social policies, and just lifestyle policies are Republicans proposing to help people like your wife and your child and you? Because I'm assuming you care. Now I'm assuming the abortion thing you don't care about, because you don't care if they took your wife's rights away, or they took your child, they're going to take your child's rights away. So what other policies are they proposing to make your life better that don't include the border? Because we know the border is not an issue with you and your family, because they aren't coming here taking those jobs. Robots are doing those jobs. They aren't raising the prices of things. Corporate greed is raising the prices. So now that we got those two talking points out of the way that you were going to throw out there, I already assumed you were going to do that. Name the policies that Republicans are proposing to help poor and middle class people like yourself, your wife, and your child. And if you tell me some bullshit like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm parked now, I got no time to answer the question, I'm out, don't ever come on this fucking podcast again. I'm tired of people like him, bro. I really am. See, they think this is a goddamn game. They think this is a fucking game. Do you honestly think, and if you can't, by the way, just understand and know this. If you think you not being able to give me an answer about what social policies or economic policies or healthcare policies that they can come up with to help you and your family, if you think that's a good thing, you're a fucking moron. You're a moron, and I don't even use that word a lot. I'm
sorry, everybody, for just going off for 5 minutes.
Nah, man, no, because you know what? Don't apologize, because the
viewers are like, they probably don't want to watch me fucking be a moron.
Nope, we need conversations like this, bro, because these motherfuckers are about to drive us off of a goddamn cliff.
But I just don't get how, like, you look back at these, because I was curious, like with Daniel and Woodmore, which I mixed them up because they're both were apparently atheists. They both are heavyset dudes with beards. I very white. I assume they're the same guy for a while.
Whitmore just posts straight racist shit.
Oh, he's gone right. And I'm not even joking. If you look back in his timeline, in his pictures, there's like him and his wife at like the Gay Pride Tennessee parade or something. And I'm like, wait a second. So you were, and he has like Bernie memes and shit. I'm like, wait, so you were a Bernie guy who was on the left. You don't like war, and now you are literally posting memes and saying I'm the superior race because I'm white. And I'm gonna
tell you this. Let me tell you what he wouldn't do. He wouldn't say it to anybody's face.
Oh, I've offered him plane tickets to come talk to me.
You wouldn't say it to anybody's face, Whitmore, because you a pussy. You a straight pussy. And I'm saying that with no disrespect to pussies. Do you understand that? I'm saying it right now. And if I was in front of you, I'd say it to your fucking face.
Yeah, but Woodmore's a fucking clown. Daniel seemed to be a little bit more level-headed, but same thing. I watched this guy throughout years on Facebook. I thought we were in similar groups. We have similar friends through atheism or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know how anybody who ever came. I mean, I do. I know a lot of people that come to atheism because they were mad at their pastor or their fucking priest diddled them or whatever the fucking, or they went to church and one day there's a bunch of all their little friends at church turned on them because they drove the wrong truck or wore Nikes or something. I don't fucking know. But the people that were like atheists and no, I'm a rational human being, and all of a sudden they're like on these fucking slides of like this goofy libertarian shit and this fucking like, they can't think straight at all. Like liberals and Democrats both start wars. They both love wars. You really think they love war? Okay. Well, even if they do love war, why don't we then vote for the people that say they don't love war? How about that? So that's my solution to all these people that go, all these like these fucking leftists are like, both sides are the same. Oh, really? Both sides are the same. Okay, well, let me see. I'm looking at this. Let's look at the abortion issue. This group, 100% of them say they are for pro-choice. This group, 100% of them said they are anti-choice. You're saying they're both the same. The bill comes up. This group votes exactly what they said. This group votes exactly what they said. So I'm saying they're not the same. You're saying they're still the same. Okay, so you're saying secretly the pro-choice people are really pro-life or the pro-life people really pro-choice. They're both the same. So their voting records aren't the same. Their words aren't the same. So even if they get together and they go, we both hate abortion or we both love abortion. Let's have a beer, Mitch McConnell. Okay, then shouldn't we at least vote for the people who vote for the things we like? So if you say that they both love war, okay, so shouldn't we vote for the people who say they don't love war, whose voting record says they don't love war? And if they do vote for war, then we vote them out next time. But you're like, both sides love war. So I'm going to vote for the side that says they love war, that keeps getting us into wars. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
It's one of the laziest responses from people. It really is. At this point, it's so fucking tiring, bro. Because it's one of those things that you say, well, either you don't care enough to really understand the differences, or it's just the easiest thing for you to say, for you to remain apathetic. That's again. I took the gloves off a while ago, but I'm comfortable with them being off now because we've coddled these people for a long time. We've tried empathy with these people. We've tried sympathy. We've tried facts. We've tried reasoning. We've tried, because again, to the people like Daniel, and I'm looking at his profile picture. Hey, bro, let me be straight up with you. Unless you are secretly rich and you just had time to come fuck with us today, the legislation that is being proposed by Republicans, by the way, because you still haven't answered the question, I just noticed that you haven't mentioned anything.
He sent me a picture of him driving.
Yeah, but again, he can answer the question. He didn't answer the question. Just text to talk what the legislation is that they put forth to help you and your wife and your child. Do you care about them? I'm assuming you do. You seem loving in that picture. What legislation did they put forth to make sure that your child has health care, or that your wife has health care, or that you have a job, or that inflation stays down? What are Republicans proposing? Because I can tell you the things the Democrats are proposing and what they've passed, so I can give you answers. Give me the answers to the questions I asked. Because this ain't got to do with war. And if you're telling me you don't have an answer, that should tell you something. If you're telling me you won't give me an answer, that tells me something. I'm tired of people thinking that this is a fucking game. We're dealing with people's lives here, bro. This ain't fucking, what's that movie with what the fuck Matthew Broderick, War Games? This ain't that. This is real life. The decisions that the people in Washington make affect us. 97% of us, they affect us. They're going to affect you. They're going to affect your wife. They're going to affect your child. You think this is fucking funny, and it's not.
Well, but
hold on one second. Hold on. I pray, bro. I pray, Daniel, if you're real and your wife is real and your child is real, I pray that they never have to suffer from your fucking ignorance. Because it's not your child's fault. Your daughter has nothing to do with this conversation. But I promise you something. You keep being ignorant to the fact that the people in Washington not giving a fuck about you, your wife, or your child is going to affect you, your wife, and your child. Keep thinking it's a fucking game.
Well, I'm not gonna share because it's I knew there was an issue here. I wanted to this is why I wanted to talk to him because and have him on the show. He may have already left yet or whatever. But I thought, I'm like, God, I feel like I've met this guy before. I think I met him at a conference one time or something. And I'm like, so a while back, I went back and looked through his like photos. I'm like, God, I feel like I've met this guy, knew this guy. I don't remember him being this fucking right-wing douchebag. Like, what the fuck? And that's why I wanted him on the show because, and I'm not going to share his. I'll describe a few. I'm not going to share his photos with you guys.
Good point, Sam.
That's not cool. It's his profile, but. Looking right now, I just pulled one up. 2013, he's got Stop Israel. And it's because I'm a Palestinian child. It's got a picture of a dead hand. And I have no place to hide. 2013. So you just said that Joe Biden is responsible for the wars. 2013, you were anti-Israel. Who is the most pro-Israel president by his own admission we've ever had? Donald Trump. Donald Trump says, I'm pro-Israel, and Israel's the best, and Israel this, and Israel that. So you had 2013, 11 years ago, a meme up, a picture up saying stop Israel because they're killing people in Gaza, the war that you said Joe Biden started. You literally said that we didn't have any wars until Joe Biden came in and Joe Biden started the war in Middle East. But you have a meme from 11 years ago saying stop Israel. Okay, another meme right here. Him at an event, happy human light, compassion and hope. And he's got a big painted rainbow thing. And he says, we've got a big thing. He says, all you need is love. And he says, I made a sign for the Celebrate Diversity event. I'm not the best message or artist, but I hope this gets the message across. So here's a guy who, again, what was that? 2014 picture with Aaron Ra, who's been on our show many times, who's a wonderful, wonderful human being. Picture with him and his wife with Aaron Ra, 2014. And, all these pictures of him, celebrate diversity, stop Israel, just over and over and over of there's a rainbow flag on his fucking page.
Yeah.
There's like,
Listen,
I'm just like, what I want to know, bro. What the fuck happened to you that you went complete fucking flip-flop to the he's got a picture of him dressed up as Luke Skywalker.
But because
do you not understand?
Why not Darth Vader? Why not Darth Vader? Why not the Sith Lord? Why not General Snoke? I'm a Star Wars nerd. You saw how that just came out of me really quick. But I'm not apologizing for the anger. I'm just not, because at this point I'm just tired, because it's going to fuck with us. The decisions motherfuckers like him make are going to affect us. They're going to affect our viewers. They're going to affect our families, the people we care about. It's going to affect us. This fucking clown thinking that it's okay to just play politics when the only people that win when you play politics are the rich motherfuckers. The people that live behind gated communities where you got to sign a piece of paper to go in. The ones that have money stacked away not only in banks, but in their fucking vaults in their homes. Those are the people that can afford to play politics. We can't. The people who need health care can't afford to play. The people who need to feed our families, we can't afford to play. We can't afford to be uneducated. We can't afford to not know what the fuck is going on and not put people in positions that are really gonna fucking look out for us. We can't afford to do that. And for some reason, you're thinking your fucking whiteness is going to save you. And it won't. You know how many fucking white people are homeless? A lot. You know how many white people stormed the Capitol or are in prison right now? A lot. You know how many people got orphaned because they died from COVID? A lot. I'm fucking tired of people like him, bro. I'm fucking tired of them. This is not a fucking game. Go play with somebody else. And I would say it to your fucking face. By the way,
I'd love to have him on with Aaron Ra since he obviously likes him, he's got a picture with him on his page. Because yeah, Aaron would not go lightly with him on these things. I'd be very interested in seeing how that goes. And not that everybody you idolize for one thing you have to agree on everything. That's for sure. But it's just like I just don't know how you get to where and I do know part of it. He's an anti-vaxxer, and you know, like I always say, COVID scared a lot of people. And people stuck at home on the internet for a year who don't have critical thinking skills, went down rabbit holes and haven't been able to come out. And I think that's what happened with this guy. He seems to have been off now. Maybe got to his destination. Maybe I'll watch this later. But
that's what trips me out about this, bro. It's like we have to. There's a part I understand what you're saying, that people can fall in the rap. I get it. I understand it, bro. Like, I mean, it used to happen with me with porn. I did a lot, a lot of rabbit holes, man. A lot of windows were open. And all of a sudden, like, God damn, it's 200 fucking windows. I got to close them all. But at some point, it's so much information out there for these people, bro.
By the way, that sounds like furry porn. Rabbit holes.
But like, there's so many, just like there's so many rabbit holes for them to fall into, there's others for them to say, okay, listen, I know they told you this, but just look at it. Look at this. You got a choice. You got this much information and this much information. If you're saying, hey, I don't watch it anymore like that, Corey. No more. I promised on this new computer I would not watch any porn. I promised that, and I have stuck to the script.
That's why he kept his old computer.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So I just don't understand why, if they can fall into it, because again, a lot of us will say, I get it, man. You fell into this, you were depressed about something, you were upset about life or whatever, and you needed a comfort zone, security blanket, people that made you feel comfortable about where you were. But if your critical thinking skills are so gone to where anything that is said to you, just like you said with the lady earlier, when she said, I trust a comedian who delves in conspiracy theories more than a scientist. What? That doesn't even make any goddamn sense. That's stupid. It literally is stupid. And I guarantee you, if you took scientific or medical advice from Sam and died, any lawyer you go to would say you have no fucking case.
And Sam would laugh at you.
Not a fucking doctor.
And Sam would laugh at you.
Yes. Yes. And do a fucking show about it.
And by the way, what was Sam's biggest thing? He used to do a comedy show with strippers or porn stars, right? Remember?
Yes.
That was his big show, the Dirty Show or Naughty Show or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep.
I'm like, that's the guy you're listening to for your medical advice.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's
come on.
So real quick, because I do want to show you guys something that I did. Ian linked me up with someone that's very nice and is doing really good work. She's an activist, Margaret Downey. We'll talk about that in just because we don't want to go too long. I know we already told Paul that we wouldn't go long, so we'll be really quick on this one part, and then I want to show you guys this video. But let's talk about this for like a quick hot second. People have to stop thinking that social media is real life. And when I say that, I mean people thinking that if you have a bunch of followers, your word is the word to take. Now, I'm saying this as us doing this show for years and having people that have been loyal to the show, friends and family of the show, all this. But again, you guys know us, and you know that we also don't tell you what to think. We tell you what we think, but we also say, go get the information yourself, make your own educated decision. That's it. That's all we ask, is just go and do all of this stuff based in facts. That's the difference. So yes, we are part of the media. Yes, we are part of social media, but we also are like, think for yourself, but be educated in what you think. When I see people say, well, because I had, and the thing that Ian is talking about right here with the person earlier, I had a person come on and attack me and say, well, you just seem like somebody that's disgruntled because you don't have as many followers or have a career like Sam. Now, just to toot my own horn here for this second, in this context, I have been on way more television shows than Sam. I have been in movies. I have more specials out. I was in 2 TV shows last year. A Million Little Things and Gen V.
He knows me.
And I know Ian Harris. So, but again, my credentials go all the way back to Star Search, not the Ed McMahon Star Search, but the Arsenio Hall Star Search. I have multiple television late night shows, multiple Tonight shows, Conan. I've been on Nickelodeon. So again, my whole point in saying all of this is that I've had a career for a long time. I have a career now. Ian has a career. He's had a career for a long time. You can go look at the things that Ian has done. You can go look at the things he's done in front of the camera. You can go look at the things that he's done behind the camera. He's a very talented editor as well. Do you understand? He's a very talented director. So that's called a career. We both have careers, but guess what? Neither one of us probably have more followers than Sam probably on Instagram. That doesn't mean that our careers don't exist. It just means that in that medium, that person has a lot of people following them. I'm just tired of people equating that type of mindset to what other people do. We have to stop that. It's one medium. That's great. That's cool. You got a lot of people to follow you. That's fantastic.
And up until recently, I got no problem with Sam. He's gone.
No, the issue is not.
Sam didn't
say it himself. Sam didn't say it.
No, I'm just saying in general, like Sam's been a little wacky, but yeah, I got no problem with Sam. Anyway.
You know what I'm saying? But when people say shit like, well, I don't know you and you don't have as many followers as this person, what the fuck does that mean? Now if I was a dick and I say, hey man, IMDb me, and you'll see all the stuff that I've done and the stuff that I'm doing. You can go look. Now, but if I did that, I promise you'd be like, oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy telling me all the shit that he's doing. No, you just told me I didn't have a career. I'm just trying to show you I have a career. I do shit. I do shit besides this. I do shit besides stand-up. It's just I don't go around telling motherfuckers they got to follow me. If you want to follow me, that's great. If you don't, that's okay. I'm still going to say the shit that I say. I'm just tired of people acting like Instagram and Twitter and TikTok is what constitutes a career. Shit, Denzel ain't on TikTok, and Denzel has a great career. You see what I'm saying? We have to stop this.
That's why I'm not on TikTok, by the way.
There you go. There's
no Denzel. Anyway, are you gonna play the T-Pain thing?
I am. So I won't play the whole thing.
Get going. It's where
I won't play the whole thing. It's too long. So I will play just a snippet of it. So I will just give you guys this. I was asked by Margaret Downey, who's an activist out of DC, who they're putting a presentation together for Thomas Paine. They're putting a presentation together for Thomas Paine, the abolitionist. And she asked me to do something for it. And so this project is something that I wrote. I put everything together from start to finish. This shit was fucking exhausting. And I have a ton of respect for people like Ian because he has a crew of people to help him. I did this shit and motherfucker, when I tell you, when I was done with this shit, I played a lot of 2K and smoked a lot of weed because I was just exhausted. So here, I'm just going to play you guys a quick clip. The video will be up publicly on YouTube later on today. It'll be on my YouTube page, and I'll start sharing little clips on my social media so I can get more followers. Shut up. So here we go. This is what I did, and hopefully you guys dig it. And here we go. Share screen, share sound, and here we go. Being allowed to read. Here, let's start. Okay. Never existing or ever standing up for the rights of Black people.
Very controversial episode in his neighborhood. See what I did there? Because the theme song actually says in the next. It's fine. You know what? Focus time. Focus.
So then I thought maybe I'll do something funny, humorous. Maybe show the ramifications of freedom fighters like Paine never existing or ever standing up for the rights of Black people. And could you imagine in 2024, Black people still not being allowed to read? Okay, that's gonna be a double. No! You know, this really could be avoided if you let me pick up a book.
But the more I discovered about Mr. Payne, the more I thought, instead of making light of such a dark time in American history, I wanted to highlight how much respect I gained for a dude I literally just learned about. What he stood for, believed in, accomplished, and more importantly, who he accomplished it for should be celebrated. What he spoke out against should be remembered. And him choosing humanity over hatred should be revered. Now I say choosing humanity because honestly, during that time, he could have just accepted how things were. He didn't have to do what was right, just, decent, and civil. Yet he chose to. And that's how real change is made. His use of the term men stealers when describing the practice of slavery, while the country and a lot of parts of the world called it business, accentuated his understanding of what African human beings had to endure. Basically, he was woke before it was cool. Because historically, we as black people have been made to feel like our struggle is just that. Our struggle, our pain, and our injustice. Historically, we've been made to feel that if you don't look like us, you can't possibly understand us. Our ancestors were made to feel that why would or should anybody who doesn't look like us even give a damn about us? Thomas Paine was one of the rare exceptions to the literal rule. He could have gone along with the status quo.
All right, we'll leave it there. The rest of it will be up on YouTube, you guys, later on today. And like I said, I want to thank Margaret for giving me a chance to do that. I want to thank Ian for linking us up. And it was fun. It was exhausting to do because I had to challenge myself on a lot of different levels, but it was super fun. And I hope you guys dig it. I'll have the link put up on our pages later on today where you can watch the whole video. It's about 8 minutes. So yeah, like I said, I want you guys to understand this, and I'm going forward. I know we got to get out of here. I'm sorry, Paul. I'll just be really quick when I say this.
Can you post it on the Critical and Thinking YouTube as well?
Yeah. I'm making everything public here in a couple hours, and then I'll just put the link up there for everybody to watch the full video. It'll be up there later on today, Tam. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate it. When I have to clean up, I clean up. When I have to put on clothes, I put on clothes. I want everybody to understand this. Everything that we do on this show comes from a place of caring. That's where all of this comes from. That's why I said we don't tell you how to think. We just tell you what we feel, and we want you guys to go do it from an educated standpoint and from a place of giving a fuck. That's all it is. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in today. And thank you, Tavius. Appreciate it. Let me know what y'all think of the whole project later. But I'm gonna turn it over to Ian, and thank you guys so much for spending this afternoon with us.
And yeah, thank you guys very much. Every Thursday right here at noon Pacific time on Facebook.com/Critical and Thinking. Also on our Facebook page, Critical and Thinking. So be sure to tune in. And then also, if you want to download these episodes on iTunes, Google, all the places that you download iTunes, please do so. I just got a private message from Zen that he had to roll because he had to get in the shower, but he says he wishes this show was always this angry. So thank you to Daniel Ross for making this
hilarious
today. But and extending that, if you want to come on, I promise not to be this angry. Promise to have a regular, rational conversation like the one we showed David Pakman having. I'd love to just have that conversation and find out your journey from seemingly empathetic, normal person to Trump supporting hater. When you get a chance, we'll have you on, even if it's for half an hour. We'll figure it out.
All right, that's right.
See you next Thursday. Critical and Thinking.
Critical Thinking Podcast. Ty Barnett.